Some cars are so flat and low that you have to go down even for the first introduction here in this reporting. Welcome guys here to the world premiere of the Maserati MC20, a new Maserati supercar. And when Maserati asked us to come here, I was thinking, okay, yet another supercar. But I can tell you, it's really more than that. Really unique things about this new Maserati MC20. It's not a concept. It will be built like this in 3 different versions: coupe, convertible and all electric. Even more news to come right now here in Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go. Maserati, of course, always has been about design, but the purpose of this vehicle is not primarily design. It's supposed to be a fast supercar, and that's why the front grille is also not like even bigger to be more masculine. It just has the size that it's needed for cooling. And this is the whole scheme of this vehicle. Everything is designed or laid out in a way that it serves a function, that it serves a purpose. Pretty interesting. A lot of carbon fiber used. The whole chassis is from carbon fiber. We can also see it here in the front spoiler, for example. Then this is a matte white paint here for the day. LED headlamps, interesting daytime running light as well. And you can see also this new Maserati logo. It's a little bit flatter in the design there. So this car also introduces a more simplified Maserati logo. And by the way, for Fierce basement garage ramps, you will be able to lift the car up then by about 5 centimeters or 2 inches, so you don't damage this precious carbon fiber spoiler lip. You know, carbon fiber cannot really be repaired, so better don't scratch it. 4 meters 67, 15 foot 3 or 184 inches is the length of the Maserati MC20. And the very interesting thing is that this is here the coupe with combustion engine. There will also be a convertible with combustion engine. This one will have some strengthened measures at the side, but then without this fixed roof. And there will also be an electric version, so an all-electric version for the same car. They will use the same chassis, all 3 versions, but then a little bit more modified. In the EV version, there will be the battery pack getting more weight to the vehicle. Therefore, again, the chassis has to be strengthened. But the same base chassis, very interesting. Made from carbon fiber. You can also see it here in the lower part. And that's why also this car is so light. So just under 1,500 kilograms. And that's really amazing for the power that this car has. So you have to imagine that's 2.33 kilogram per horsepower, per 1 horsepower. And that's really, that's nothing actually. Really interesting. 20-inch wheels come as standard. Here also with the ceramic brakes, blue brake calipers, and this white paint here, matte white paint. Yeah, some Italian flies also love that, if you see some black dots. And once again, a very fluent design. Here these, door handles go in. Everything optimized for wind flow. And indeed, here's the air intake for the midship engine concept. And they didn't want to put any massive rear wing on it. They said they want to make the car look sleek, and the whole downforce is created from the underbody of the car, so it's basically sucking to the ground, and therefore it does not need a very strong wing on the top. midship engine concept, at least here for the combustion engine version. This is a 3-liter V6 twin turbo, 630 horsepower, 730 Newton meters of torque, 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and acceleration to 100 kilometers is 2.9 seconds, to 200 kilometers 8.8 seconds. Maximum speed 325 kilometers or 200 miles per hour. Very interesting. That's it for the combustion engine. The EV version will even be a little bit faster, 2.8 seconds, so 0.1 seconds faster to 100, and 8.4 seconds, so 0.4 seconds faster to 200. But a little bit, less fast here, 310 kilometers or 192 miles for the EV version. But interesting really that they put this engine here, the combustion engine, this V6, 3-liter V6, but also an all-electric version. But first here today about the combustion engine, a little bit more about it. It's called Nettuno, so like Neptune in Italian. And this is inspired by Formula One technology, has special Formula One developed technologies inside. And Maserati is also claiming that it's not only powerful, but also very efficient. So this is also another thing about this vehicle. They wanted to build a little bit more sustainable supercar with also less fuel consumption. We'll have to see about that while driving, but they are actually promising us that. We have to see that for ourselves. But very interesting that they also picked a V6 and they said, okay, 2 cylinders less. Not every supercar needs to have a V8 for example. So for weight reasons, also then weight balancing reasons, for example. And again, they said that this would have been the best concept to have, the best performance ratio overall. Yeah, and by the way, this engine also means 210 horsepower per liter. So this performance ratio, very impressive. And also the rear here, of course, very wide. A lot of carbon fiber use here once again. And also a strong diffuser. The signature here, very wide here with this light strip. It really looks supercar-ish from the rear. And these exhaust pipes here, yeah, they look really real. Glad there's no job for the Autogefuehl fake exhaust police, or would it be the Autogefuehl Carabinieri for today here, close to Modena, home of Maserati. And also one of the big news is the engine talked about here is built here in Modena, and this hasn't been done for a lot of years now. So this is really a true Italian, a true Maserati Modena home vehicle. They actually built a new facility for that. So really a lot of investment here in this new supercar. And here we can see the interior, and here again, form follows function. So they didn't want to make something, totally extraordinary. They wanted to have a sporty interior, just dark, mostly black colors, not to distract you too much. The seats here you can see also form follows function. The main use of the seating area is Alcantara. First of all, they want to be more sustainable and also sportier, because for the racetrack, Alcantara is the way to go. It just gives you more grip and also keeps you cooler in summer times and warm in winter if you think about road driving. So these sport seats here with integrated head restraint, and they indeed work also, of course, with the Italian company of Alcantara for this sports car or this supercar. Also, the steering wheel can be bought with Alcantara surface, by the way. That's possible as well. Interesting is that they use Android Automotive for the infotainment system. So we have only seen it with the Polestar 2 so far. So really surprising to see that in the Maserati supercar. And the screens will be 2 times 10.25 inch. So digital instruments on the left, and also the same screen size and on the right, both times 10.25 inch. Sound system will be either 6 speakers or optional 12 speakers from Sonos Faber. So also a more elaborated sound system will be available. And there's also this middle console, and there you have, for example, a special selector for the driving modes. And there will be different driving modes available. And they are actually called either wet for some wet driving, GT, Sport and Corsa. Sport and Corsa are the sportiest modes, and then the suspension will also be stiffer. However, when you are in the Sport or Corsa mode, you can also set suspension soft again, so that you have maybe different gear behavior and so on, but still can go back to a softer driving mode. Very interesting. And of course, ESC off will also be possible. This this middle selector part here, by the way, inspired also by expensive watches. Very interesting. So I tried to get a lot of inspiration from different other, craftsmanship and so on. So very interesting sporty interior, but you can really see rather like reduced to the max. It almost looks a little bit Formula One alike, and that was also the scheme behind the whole vehicle, inspired by Formula One racing indeed. By the way, the normal back mirror will be a digital mirror, so this is really helpful because in the supercar you don't have a good overview around you, so you will see a camera screen then in this very mirror. And here we can see these butterfly doors, a lot of carbon fiber use, as I said, a carbon fiber chassis, pretty interesting. And also nice here, these handles, how you can pull the doors back right there. So it also has some racing heritage, of course. And here another good look here at this monocoque chassis, together with the Alcantara seats, sport seats, very well formed, very well shaped. Soon taking a test seat exclusively for you. Very interesting here. Of course, one of the first prototype vehicles here. And the steering wheel, another perspective here. This is the one then with Alcantara on the sides and a lot of carbon fiber use. Also the steering wheel. This looks really fancy. Carbon fiber plus Alcantara. Really, really cool. And also so many other parts are covered in this microfiber, Alcantara and the carbon fiber. So hardly anything, not covered with that. Pretty cool. And now I'll be, I think, one of the first ones to get inside here at this world premiere. So exclusively for you, of course. And an interesting thing is it's actually quite comfortable. So, I mean, it looks so supercar sporty-ish from the outside, and the first impression here, the microfiber is always better to sit on than like a strong, slick surface as well as for the comfort. And this makes a quite good impression so far. And indeed, this was also the plan. So they really want to make it a race car, yes, but didn't want any compromise on comfort. Suspension-wise, we have to see. Told you there will be different suspension modes, and you can also go back to soft suspension in the sportier mode. But so far, this makes a very good impression, and also you'll have a good grip here, again, with the Alcantara steering wheel. Once again, this will be my view then to these digital instruments on the left. And really looking forward also for a test drive. We will, of course, deliver you a test drive at a later stage, and then I'll also show you more about the infotainment system and so on. Especially also with the steering wheel, by the way, is that we have a start-stop button at the steering wheel directly, and also for the launch control. This is also special, and here, Alcantara ceiling as well. When I'm sitting here at the moment with 1.86 m or 6'1", this still leaves some headroom. So although this car is looking super, super flat, it really looks like you can easily fit here also as a tall person. So maybe a practical supercar? Well, don't think we can really talk of that. But so far, among the supercars I have been sitting in, it makes a quite comfortable impression. We see about that when we do a long road trip with that one, right? And before we come to our final conclusion for today, you might ask yourself, yeah, what's the price of this one? Because you surely all want to buy it, right? So it will start, it's just approximate guess, knowing the price of so far supercars and also knowing the pricing policy of Maserati. We estimate about 210,000 euros or dollars, and when you equip it a little bit more, get some of the options, you can get some or less, close to a little bit less than $250,000. Then there will also be the convertible. It's probably a little bit more expensive than this one here, and then the EV version will also be more expensive. So this one will be the cheapest entry version. So, and everything then somewhat probably between 200 and 250k something. Piece of cake, right? Well, guys, this is always an impressive perspective when a car has these butterfly doors. We know also from the McLarens, for example, and when they're both opened, always a very, very interesting perspective. Really cool, right? So what about the conclusion for today? As I told you earlier, I first thought, yet another supercar, and so many supercars have been built, and they're all like, super great performance figures, blah, blah, blah. But this car here to me was really special because of many different unique things it has. First of all, the thinking concept behind it about the form follows function, not crawling out for most attention, but really to serve a function, serve a purpose. And that's also, for example, why so much Alcantara is used on the interior then. And also the thought of producing a more sustainable supercar, both for the interior, for example, but also with a better fuel economy, for example. Really interesting with this Formula 1 use, also as for the midship engine concept. And of course this concept not to have it as coupe and convertible combustion engine wise, but also as an all-electric supercar and offering everything of that. So far it was maybe only electric supercar or then the classic combustion engine supercar. So really interesting that they have such a high investment building an own facilities, especially for this vehicle here in Modena, where so far the Gran Carrio and the Gran Coupe were being built. And then in these 3 different versions. So it's quite obvious that it can't be that profitable for them. It's really an image project to scream out that, hey, we're Maserati, we're back, with something very special. And this car is also there to influence all the other series production cars that are to come, which are more affordable, of course. This supercar, of course, will be super expensive, as the name Supercar says, yeah. Design-wise, you can see it's more seamless. Of course, the doors scream for attention, yeah, but besides that, no big wings and so on. And really interesting that they use all the downforce then with using the lower floor. And of course, very impressive performance figures, both for the combustion engine and for the EV version that is then to come later. So, I really have to say, interesting things about this vehicle. Yeah, and of course, the Android Auto use for the infotainment system, which is really unexpected because the Maserati hasn't been known for the best infotainment systems, and also not the Fiat mother company, not at all. So also pretty cool that they modernize a supercar with that. So far we've seen a lot of supercars with weird infotainment systems. Might that be the supercar with the best infotainment system ever? It will probably be the case. So I hope you enjoyed our insight here for today. We will keep you updated with the development of this vehicle. We will tell you when we can drive it definitely, and also the different versions. So more to come here on our channel. So please subscribe if you haven't done so far. See you next time.